The following booklet was created by the Nebraska Department of Education. It's called Parents' Rights in Special Education. It's a nice booklet to take a look through. It lays out your due process rights pretty extensively, pretty clearly. So you should get a copy of this at least once a year. And, well, you will get a copy of it once a year. And then there's other special occasions that are listed down here that tells you when you'd get another copy. Now, I'll just go through this real quick. A lot of things we've covered, but I just want to take you through the booklet once. So after the table of contents, then there is prior written notice. And we've discussed this before and give you some examples of notice. There is a section on parental consent, both what it is and when it's necessary. There is a section on independent educational evaluations, IEEs. Under the evaluations section, we talk about this in particular and lay it out for you pretty clearly if you want to take a look at that. There is a section on confidentiality of information. This is under FERPA, that is the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. Talks a little bit about confidentiality, how you can change information for your child that's in the records, things like issues like that. In this section, we do have a section where we go through the rules and regs on FERPA, so you can also take a look at that. On page 11 is information on state complaint procedures. We also have a section following this that talks about the state complaint procedures and assists you in filling out a state complaint and explains what is the difference between a due process hearing and a state complaint. So you can take a look at that. On page 14 is information on the due process complaint procedures. We also have a section on that and a form that you can fill out that helps you file a due process complaint. This is the process that would be a hearing in front of an administrative law judge. So there's information about how to go about doing that. On page 16 is a description of mediation. You can also mediate your differences with the school district. On page 23, after a due process hearing, if you disagree with the decision, you're allowed to appeal. You can do both this in state or federal court. You can do it in federal court because it's a federal regulation. And the federal rules and regulations and statutes allow you also to bring it in a state court of proper jurisdiction. So it can be in either place. On page 26 is the procedures involving discipline. You can look at this in our discipline section also, or read through here. It just talks about what the school has to do and what type of, how discipline works and when a hearing is necessary, a manifestation determination. And finally, on page 32, they talk about when you place your child in a private school because you believe that your child's not receiving a free, appropriate public education, and then file a hearing to have the school pay for that placement. And these are the procedures that are there. You can also look under our placement section, and we talk about this a bit also. And that is the Parental Rights Handbook for the state of Nebraska. It's a good thing to have around. It's a nice referral. Keep it with you. Bring it to the meeting with you so you can look things up if you have questions.